versus Javar Tyrone Grayson. Case number SP 146437761, SP 146409991, SP 1463900, counts 1, 2, and 3. State your name for the record.
Grayson
Bay. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
State your name for the record.
Grayson Bay.
All right. This is today is the date and time set for a jury trial. Ms. Schneider, can you put your appearance on the record, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexis Schneider for the people, P80322. For the record, the issuing officer, Officer Ambrose, was present, although I released him.
Mr. Grayson Bay, we didn't conclude some of the. First of all, I want to get the record straight from yesterday. I did mention, and you did cite. Where's Mr. Grayson Bay's file? Yes. I wanted to clear up something I said on the record as far as the case that you cited out of Alabama. That I was incorrect as far as the facts.
Today's video covers the aftermath of Grayson Bay's sovereign citizen courtroom journey. We begin where the last video ended, found guilty on multiple charges with a jury trial scheduled the following day. But to everyone's surprise, that trial never happened. The prosecutor dropped the remaining 2 charges. Instead, Judge Perkins proceeds directly to sentencing. Grayson, still clinging to sovereign tactics, prepares for one last attempt at deflection. What follows is a lesson in courtroom patience, logic, and firm judicial presence. It's no longer about legal debates. It's about consequences. And Judge Perkins is ready to deliver clarity. The sovereign games are over, and accountability is the next chapter.
Was not the case where they were walking down the street and did not obtain the license to assemble. That was a case where he has another reverend organized a sit-in and at a restaurant, and they were ticketed. And the unfortunate part about it is, and that's just how our society is, and it was, and still is for the most part, is that this case had to go all the way to the United States Supreme Court for him to get justice on this case. But again, you're citing cases, sir, that you're not even reading what the cases are about.
Before sentencing, Judge Perkins takes a moment to correct a mistake from the previous day. Judge Perkins explains something many sovereign citizens failed to grasp. Most case citations used in sovereign arguments actually prove the opposite of what they claim. Many of the cases Grayson referenced are misquoted or misunderstood. In fact, they confirm the authority of courts and the limits of individual interpretation under the law. This exposes a key flaw in sovereign ideology. Using law out of context only reveals a lack of understanding. When courts read what's cited, it rarely supports the speaker's argument. The judge remains respectful but firm. If you're going to challenge the system, you must first understand it. And so far, Grayson hasn't.
Something a lawyer would be, can be brought up to the grievance commission on and potentially lose their license. All the cases in there, all the cases that you have cited are saying exactly the opposite of what you purport. Have you looked at any of them?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you read them? When did you do that last night?
I've been studying more science. My religion is more science. As you can see, if it looks like a duck, it acts like a duck, it tells you it's a duck, it's pretty much a duck. So I'm more science. So I've been studying for over.
Judge Perkins explains something many sovereign citizens failed to grasp. Most case citations used in sovereign arguments actually prove the opposite of what they claim. Many of the cases Grayson referenced are misquoted or misunderstood. In fact, they confirm the authority of courts and the limits of individual interpretation under the law. This exposes a key flaw in sovereign ideology. Using law out of context only reveals a lack of understanding. When courts read what's cited, it rarely supports the speaker's argument. The judge remains respectful but firm. If you're going to challenge the system, you must first understand it. And so far, Grayson hasn't.
And,
But you haven't been studying.
no disrespect to you, Your Honor. I just want to remain mute to the fact and acknowledge that my mother is here, the matriarch of my family. And so I just want to remain mute to this case in this matter. And the floor is yours. This is your courtroom. No disrespect. My mother is here.
No. Ma'am, can you stand up and state your name, please?
My name is Mary Grayson Hall.
Good morning, Ms. Grayson Hall. And it's nothing about, you can see it. I just wanted you to acknowledge, I do acknowledge the fact, and I appreciate the fact that you have support here. The court always recognizes that. That's why I asked you to stand up. But you want to remain mute now, but you didn't remain mute when you filed these pleadings. This is how you speak to the court, exactly the way you did. Now, maybe the form is not exactly the way the court kind of or rules have to fly, but I understand you're in pro per and you might not know all of those rules. But when you start filing these documentations, you're speaking to the court and you're representing that this is the current state of the law as this is the current state of the law, and this stuff applies to your case. And I should be reading this stuff and be able to interpret what you're saying about your case through these cases. And when I read these cases, it says exactly the ones that I've read, and I've seen these cases filed before, it says exactly the opposite of what you're trying to say. Because what I understand you're trying to say is that you're trying to say that you don't need a valid driver's license to drive on the roads. You don't need proper registration on your vehicle, and you don't need proper insurance. And you're even going as far as saying that the police officers, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the police officers do not even have the authority to pull you over. Is that correct?
Again, Your Honor, I remain mute to the situation.
Grayson proudly claims he's been studying Moorish science for over a decade. To him, this religious philosophy is a basis for legal exemption. He insists his beliefs allow him to reject standard legal processes. But Judge Perkins isn't moved. Religious belief may be protected, but it doesn't override licensing, registration, or insurance laws. Grayson tries to frame his actions as spiritual sovereignty, but the court sees legal defiance. 10 years of study hasn't changed the rules of the road. If you drive, you need a license. And if you appear in court, ideology doesn't dismiss charges. Belief cannot substitute for compliance.
My mother is here. No due respect to the court. My matriarch is here. And I gave you pretty much documents to read. And I'm standing on those documents and I'm gonna remain mute. Thank you.
All right, so I've already found you guilty of the count of refusing to exhibit a driver's license, SP 1464091. I'm going to fine you on that case $240. I've already found you responsible on SP 1463901. Expired plate. I'm going to fine you $145 on that. And I've already found you responsible on SP 1463903, insurance no proof, and I say guilty on SP 1464091, and that's a 240 for the insurance no proof. I'm going to fine you $195 on that. All right. As far as the other counts, I had in the note. Well, you told me off the record that you're going to dismiss SP 1464761 and SP 14639-002. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So 145, 195, and $240, sir. When can you pay?
I would probably need, after the holidays, maybe 3 months. I might get something up for you.
Are you working?
I do carpentry.
Yeah, you do carpentry. Are you working?
Yes, yeah, I have jobs lined up.
Okay, so why do we need so much time?
They lined up. They're not completed. They're just future jobs that I have lined up.
At sentencing, Grayson attempts to remain mute, a sovereign strategy aimed at rejecting court authority. Yet moments later, he speaks freely, addresses the judge, and references documents he previously submitted. This contradiction highlights the confusion in his position. You can't claim silence while continuing to speak. Judge Perkins addresses the irony gently but directly. By filing paperwork, Grayson already engaged with the court, and now, by choosing to speak, he proves he recognizes its authority, whether he admits it or not. Sovereign tactics often collapse under their own contradictions. This was a perfect example in real time.
So presently, you're not working.
Today, I'm not in court.
You got this play on words.
Yeah, I mean, traveling and
Is this
driving. Yeah, there be the system. Play on word. I mean, it's the truth, though. I mean, I got to speak the truth to you, right? You respect the truth?
Now, if you,
Okay, I'm not working today. I'm not working.
No. You're not. I'm asking you, why is it taking 3 months to get up? I don't typically give out 3 months to pay fines, especially when somebody's working, and especially in a career that's a skilled trade, that's a very lucrative career. So I'm trying to give you the time you need, but I need to make a good basis for that. Because you're not giving me a good basis for giving you 3 months, and you're telling me you're a carpenter and you're telling me you're working. Now, if you're telling me you're a carpenter and I'm not working currently, then that's something that I can go with. But you're telling me I'm just not working today.
Right.
I'm gonna go to work tomorrow.
Well,
I'm going to work tomorrow, and I'm going to work the next day.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving you 3 months.
Very optimistic. That's why I say, well, as this present, not, but yeah, tomorrow. I'm very optimistic about work. So yeah,
so you're not working.
Today I'm not working. Tomorrow I'm going, I have grass work tomorrow to do. There are schedules to do, and I do have a future as a job to have things to be done. But as you saying, as I'm working, I'm telling you the truth, not as now, no. If that clears, if that makes you feel comfortable, no, I'm not working. I'm trying to ascertain. No, I'm not working. I'm not working at this present moment. I'm not working.
And when you say you're working, you have some aspirations of working, like everybody does. We're looking for, well, not everybody, because not everybody is trying to work.
Right, exactly.
So you're not working now, correct?
Right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Let me ask you this, ma'am. Is this the kind of, I don't know, I want to make sure that you don't need any mental health services? Do you?
Are you questioning my mental capacity?
Judge Perkins reads the full list of charges Grayson was found guilty or responsible for. These include failing to exhibit a valid driver's license, expired registration, and no proof of insurance. Fines are issued for each $240, $145, and $195. The remaining charges have been dropped by the prosecution. Now all that's left is to determine how and when Grayson will pay. The judge is clear, concise, and fair in his ruling. There's no lecture, no personal attack, just facts and penalties. In a system governed by law, actions have consequences. And despite all the delays, this day of judgment has finally arrived.
Because I mean, you're giving me these play on words. You're giving me all of this stuff. I don't
speak the truth.
I don't feel you're speaking the truth to me.
I'm not working today at this present moment. I'm not working.
And you're not working. You don't have anything set for tomorrow.
No, I don't.
Right?
No, I don't.
You don't. Do you have anything set for next week?
No, I'm just anticipating things. You're right. I don't.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm just gonna get you out of here. I'm gonna give you till March the 5th. You can either Zoom in or come in I'm gonna give you till March the 5th to have this stuff paid off, all right?
When asked when he can pay the fines, Grayson hesitates. He says he works in carpentry, but needs 3 months to pay. The judge probes further, "Are you working now?" Grayson replies no, but says he has jobs lined up. The judge quickly sees through it. Promises aren't paychecks. Lined up jobs aren't income. It's one thing to request time to pay. It's another to expect leniency based on imagined future earnings. The judge isn't buying the ambiguity. He wants specifics, not sovereign word games. Courts operate on facts, and the fact is, Grayson isn't working today. Pressed again about his employment, Grayson begins walking back his claims. One moment he has work tomorrow, the next he admits there's no confirmed schedule. Eventually he concedes. He's not working now and has nothing firm for the week ahead. The judge carefully walks him through the inconsistencies. It's a calm but firm reality check. You can't stretch the truth when your finances are in question. The court has heard every excuse, and while it offers flexibility, it won't reward dishonesty. Grayson's shifting story collapses under basic questioning, and the time for games is over. Before concluding, Judge Perkins briefly pauses to ask an unexpected but serious question. Does Grayson require mental health support? It's not an insult, it's a genuine concern. Sovereign ideology often involves extreme detachment from legal reality, and in some cases, it mirrors patterns of delusional thinking. Grayson, slightly surprised, insists he's mentally sound, but it's a telling moment. The court isn't just dealing with legal violations, it's confronting deep belief systems that defy logic. In this case, it's clear Grayson has chosen ideology over reason, and though the court respects his rights, it also won't ignore what it sees. In the final minutes, Grayson asks a practical question. Can I get a total of the fines? And with that, everything he claimed collapses. By asking for the total, he acknowledges the court's legitimacy, accepts the judgment, and prepares to fulfill the terms, all while having spent the entire process denying the court's authority. The irony is sharp. He fought the law, but then willingly signed the receipt. The court sets a deadline for payment, March 5th. And with that, the gavel drops. The ideology failed, the law prevailed. But if sovereign history repeats, we'll likely see him again. Same courtroom, same script, same ending.